Hello, everyone. Welcome. Thanks for stopping in. My name is Kathy, and I am your 3D cream makeup gal. This is what I call the Fab Four, and I'm going to show you how to apply this tonight. So when you jump on, if you would just say hello, tell me where you're from. I would do get a kick out of finding out who is watching live. And if you happen to be coming on later when this is posted and you're watching the replay, just put replay down. That's important for me too. Always like, comment, and share. And the reason I'd like for you to do that is because that pushes my video out there so that more and more people get a chance to see once what I do. There may be other women who are my age, 71, who has struggled with some dry skin, who has struggled with looking in the mirror, and instead of seeing her skin, she's seeing just makeup. And that was kind of me a year ago. I was on the search for a new makeup, and I found it, and I love it, and I want all of my mature people, all of my mature friends to see once what this is all about, because it really does make a huge difference. Now, I know you're looking at me and you think she already has makeup on. And you're right. This is my makeup from earlier today, and I wanted to share with you because I've been getting a couple of questions. I sometimes talk about the blend brush, either the blend or the shape brush. They're both about the same thing. They both have a small end. They both have a puffier end. This is the brush that I like to use if I'm doing touch-up work. What you're seeing here is a full face of makeup. And I will take it off in just a minute, but I wanted to kind of share with you how I use this brush if I were going to go out in the evening and I just wanted to freshen up. You do not need to start all over again. Isn't that exciting? There were days when I had to start all over again. Wash it all off, put it all back on again. Those days are gone. It's really nice because when you're wearing cream makeup, you don't need to do that. And so let me push my hair back a little bit here, see if I can keep it off of my face. When I'm doing touch-up work, I am normally using this palette. And this is simply my brightening highlight, my main highlight, my contour, and my lip color. I may put a little bit of bronzer on. It depends. Depends on where I'm going, what I'm wearing, that type of thing. But this is what I would get into if I were going to do some touch-up work. I'm going to try to come in close so that you can see. You see I've got a little bit, as a handle of a brush. I've got a little bit of darkness peeking through here. I've got a little bit more of my contour showing from this morning that needs to be blended. But other than that, the eyes don't look bad. I'm kind of surprised at that. I haven't been getting a lot of sleep at night. For me, I don't know about you, but for me, that shows up mostly under my eyes. And many of you kind of know the situation that I have here at home. My husband is not doing well. He is homebound pretty much, and I'm his caregiver. And so there are some nights that we get a lot of sleep and other nights we don't get so much sleep. And so it's like it was when I was in my early 20s. And had small children, because you never knew what kind of a night they were going to have. Only I'm a lot older now than I was then. So it shows up on my face even more now than it used to. I'm going to try to take care of a little bit of darkness here. And of course, my lip color is pretty much worn off. And I'm going to give myself just a little bit, probably a little bit more color. Now, the difference between this brush and my favorite application brush, which is the 3D brush, and you'll see me use that in just a little bit. The difference is this one, I can swirl on my skin. Look at that. I can swirl, and I'm not tugging and pulling. This one, look, do you see the difference? It's the same amount of pressure. Why? Because this brush is much more dense. This gives you a medium to full coverage, which is what I prefer. I can get a light coverage with this, but I prefer a medium coverage. And I don't want to be tugging, especially around my eyes, and that's what I use the pointed end for. This brush, look at that. You see that? You're hardly seeing my skin move. And that's what I want when I'm touching up. I'm not putting it all back on again. I am simply giving a little bit of color, adding a little bit. We're going to start here with my brightening shade. Brightening shade is what you would remember as a concealer. Now, when I do this, you can either tap or you can swirl it in here. You see these two pans are getting kind of low. Those will be the ones that I need to replace and put some new in there. I'm coming as close to the mirror as I can come. And do you see that brightness? Now, let me talk to you about darkness underneath your eyes. Some of you will be able to do what I'm doing, which is brightening. But if you have really dark eyes, then we may need to color correct with a different color. And the strange part is we're actually going to put a darker color on than what you would normally think because we're balancing it out with the rest of your skin. If we put this color on those of you that carry a lot of darkness underneath your eyes, it's just going to make it stand out all the more. I'm just going to pat a little bit. I have very little on my brush, so I'm not really going underneath my eye. That's the same old thing that you've heard me do. I do not carry product underneath my eye. And that's the reason that after 8 hours, you're not seeing makeup here. Before Saint, I would have had it after 2 hours, I would have had all of the makeup in my little crinkles here, my little lines and wrinkles, and down here. It would just be there. That's the game. That's what I had before. I don't know what you guys are using. I was using a CC cream because I thought it was moisturizing. And so I wanted to look moisturized and dewy. Well, it did to a point, but then all of a sudden, as the day would progress, it just settled into the lines and wrinkles. All right, so then you saw me add that same color as a little bit of a brightener. Now, when that happens, do you see how all of the attention comes to the center of my face? All of the brightness, all of a sudden, you see that. You don't see some of the other areas. You see this brightness come to the center. That's the reason we call it 3D, because it will give you a three-dimensional look. It is a very pretty look. It's very pretty for mature women. It's very pretty on any women. But trust me, especially those of us with mature skin will notice a big difference. All right, now this is my main shade right here. And all I'm going to do, same thing I did with my brightening shade, I'm going to swirl my brush in there a little bit, and I'm just swirling it on my face. I'm applying very little product. I'm just a little bit of reapplying of what wore off from the day. That's it. And I'm done. Now, as far as contour, same thing. This is my contour. I'm going to pick take my brush. I'm going to swipe it over. Either swipe it or stipple it in and give myself a little bit. Look at that. A little bit of product. Such a little bit of product. Packs a punch. Gives you a great look. Now, you already saw a little bit on my nose that was kind of peeking through. I'm going to just come here with my finger, and now all I'm going to do is just soften that. But again, you see how it draws the attention towards the center of my face? And then I'm going to take my cheek color. I'm a pink girl. I like my pinks. And I'm swirling that on the apple of my cheek and pulling it back. I don't come in any farther than if I were to hold a brush or a pencil right over the pupil. Look at that. You see where I'm putting that? Somebody showed me this the other day. So you can put your blush right there and then blend it back. And that's kind of what I'm doing here. Just blend in a little bit. Give yourself a little bit of color. I like a flushed look. Kind of like I'm embarrassed, but I think that is an attractive color on most of us. And then I'm putting a little bit on my lips. I'm going to use a clear lip gloss just to moisten it. By the way, I don't have to do anything to my eyes. My eyeshadow was put on this morning. Good to go. It's good to go. I don't have to tight line again. I don't have to do anything. That was my touch up to get ready to go away again. Now, I'd probably take my sponge just to make sure that I don't have any globs of makeup on because the eyes are not quite what they used to be. I'm going to go over that. If I wanted to spritz, I could. If it was a little too dewy for me, you can easily come back, knock it down with just a little bit of a translucent powder. I told somebody this the other day and she goes, oh, I don't like to use the powder. She goes, I like looking glistening, glowy. That's it. There you go. That's what you do to touch up. One palette and one brush, basically, and your sponge. That's it. And it looks like I just put a fresh face on. Let me see if I have any questions before, because now I'm going to take it all off. So let me look real quick and let me see if I have any questions. Thanks for joining. I certainly appreciate it, guys. If you have followed my page before and you think, I don't really know, I did the same thing. I followed somebody for a couple of months at least. And in that couple of months, I'm going to take everything off except for my eye makeup. In that couple of months, I kept thinking that I could do this very same thing with regular makeup. So I tried. And then if I thought I needed something else, I'd go buy it. I ended up purchasing more product than it would have cost me if I just would have got started with Saint. But I was determined that it was a nice concept, everything in one palette. I thought that was great, but I thought I could do just as well on my own. There you go. 2 months later, I finally gave in and sent my picture in. And basically, my picture is what you are seeing now, minus the eyeshadow, because I didn't have any eyeshadow. When you take a picture and you send it in for a color match, what we need for you to do is stand indoors, not in your bathroom, not in your kitchen, not in your car, inside, and look out through a window on a sunny day. You're not having it behind you. You are looking out into the light. I can get the best color match on you if I can see a little bit of your neck. Some of you are a complete different color here than you are here. I need to see that. And in all honesty, I get a better color match if you put a black shirt on. A black shirt showing me a little bit of your neck and décolleté, completely bare-skinned so that I can see. When I zoom in, this is where you can see my darkness right here in the tear trough. I'm always going to have these. These are called glass. My glasses make dents on my nose. And you're also seeing this pinkness through here. A little bit of rosacea. That has gotten worse as I've gotten older. I hope it doesn't get any worse. But the fact that I have rosacea, my artist took that information into consideration before she did my color match. She matched me with a tone that I'm using all over that camouflages and disguises that red. That's the reason we don't really care if you've got age spots, whatever you've got. We're going to work with that. And by the way of color science, we can actually get a clean canvas, all one canvas to start with, and that's what we want to do. And that's the other reason that we call it 3D technology. I hope that makes sense. I didn't understand that when I first followed Saint. I just thought it was a nice term, but I didn't know what that meant. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to put a little bit of my moisturizer on. And I did a video yesterday, and I did a comparison between this moisturizer / primer that I use and another one that I have been seeing advertised for mature skin. This one has silicone in it. As a matter of fact, it's the second thing on the ingredient list. That should be your tip-off not to use it with cream makeup. Look at the ingredient list. If it's got anything with CONE, it's got silicone in it. Now, that felt great when I first put it on. I had a lot of slip to it, but as the day went on, and I wore it for 6 hours and did a 6-hour wear test, by the time that was done, my 6 hours, my skin looked very dry and the pores were enhanced. Now, silicone is in this one, but it's way down on the list, almost at the very bottom. This one I get from our friendly online retailer. And I have put the link for it before. I do not receive any commission for it. I don't have an affiliate link. I just happen to like it. It is a light moisturizer, and before you ask me, no, it does not have a sunscreen. Can I tell you that I'm a bit of a rebel when it comes to sunscreen? If I'm not going out, I live in Indiana. If I'm not going out during the day, if I'm in my house all day long, I see no reason to put that chemical on my face. However, if I'm in my car, I have a sunroof. Love to have a sunroof. If it's in the summertime and I'm spending the majority of the day outside, yes, I put a sunscreen on. And other people have said, what's a good sunscreen? I can tell you the one that I use that is a favorite of mine is a Mary Kay one. And it has a sunscreen and it plays beautiful with our product. If you're wondering, I haven't tried any of the others. I haven't mass marketed, tested any of the others. There's a lot of other ones that are out there that people recommend, but not everything plays well with cream makeup. You need to try to figure out what works best. Now, on a normal day, I would put this moisturizer on after I did my skincare program. And that leads me to another step. You can't cover up bad skin. If you're having some areas of your skin that aren't behaving and they're not playing nicely, you need to ask yourself if you're doing everything you can possibly think of for skincare. I have sensitive skin. I don't know if I always had sensitive skin, but I certainly do now. And a couple of weeks ago, I was trying out some new products. I know better, but I did it anyway. And instead of trying one product at a time, I did it all. Then I ended up with dry patches, big dry patches, to the point where I couldn't wear my tretinoin every night. And even now, I'm putting my tretinoin over my night cream, just to make sure that it's not playing too finicky with my skin. I want to share that with you. If you are on a skincare regime and it's working for you, don't always be swayed by the next best thing. And when I say that, TikTok is fabulous for great ideas, but it's also fabulous for making us think, oh, we got to have something. When in essence, if what you're doing now is working, then don't change. Just don't change. And that's where I should have been 2 weeks ago, but I wanted to give something else a try. Anyway, normally I am very careful when I introduce a new product, and I only do it one at a time, and I use it for a couple of weeks and make sure I don't have any issues. But I have already done, in the morning, already done my skincare, put my moisturizer on, then I do my brow gel because I have to draw my eyebrows on. While the gel is drying, I do my eyes. I do tight lining, I do the line below, and I do whatever I'm going to do on my lid. I do all of that. By then, usually the gel is dry, and I use an eyeshadow to draw my eyebrow on. And then I start out my daily makeup like this, with eye makeup already on. I don't always have mascara on. I do have mascara because I just didn't want to take that off in front of you. But normally I wouldn't have mascara on. But this is the way I start my makeup. Now, I have gotten used to, I know for many of you, when in the beginning you have seen people with dots and stripes on their face, you can certainly do that. As a matter of fact, when I send you, after you have your color match and you want to know where to put the product, I send you a diagram with dots and stripes telling you where the product goes. I do that. But when I apply on myself, I simply use a brush and I go right into the palette. That's the way I'm going to do it tonight, but you're going to see if you have a diagram there that I've sent there, hopefully it's on your phone. You can pull it up anytime you put your makeup on and you can reference that. But if you have that diagram, you're going to see she's putting the product in the same places. It's just not dots and stripes. You're right. I'm going to take the pointed end. This is the 3D brush. This is our #1 best-selling brush. And you can see I'm getting, we call this hitting pan. I'm kind of getting into the corners. I'm picking up a little bit of product, and I'm going to put a little bit in the corner of my inner eye and on my outer eye. And look how little product I have put there. Now, if you were wearing concealer, that's probably about where you'd put it. And then I'm going to give myself a little bit of brightness on my forehead, and I come down my nose with a little bit on my Cupid's bow, and a little bit on my chin. And if I have some left over, I'm going to pat it into my marionette lines. These marionette lines are what happens as we get older and our skin loses the elasticity and everything starts to kind of sag. And so all I'm doing is putting a little bit of brightness there, and it camouflages them. It doesn't take them away. I wish it would, but it doesn't. All right, now I'm going to pick up my next shade, which is my main shade. And right now I am using, I can't remember which one. I'm about to maybe switch to a lighter color. This is Hazel. This was a new color that was out last year, and I loved it for summer. I'm thinking it might be a little too dark for me, but it looked okay today. I don't know. Maybe it's not too dark. Now I'm going to switch from the pointed end. I'm going to switch to the, I call it the bunny tail end, and all I do is tap. I tap it in my palette. Now you can leave these palettes in the palette if you want, these little tins. You can leave them in there or you can take them out, doesn't matter. When I start getting to the point where I need to work a little harder to get the product out, I'm going to pull it out of there. It seems to give me a little bit better. You see, with that one swipe, I got plenty of product, probably more than I thought I was going to. And that one is going to be enough for my entire face. I might have to put a little bit more. I might have to put a little bit more on my forehead, right up here. But, oh, my nose itches. What does that mean? You're going to kiss a fool, or somebody's cleaning your house? I really hope it's somebody's cleaning my house, because I could use that. All right, I'm going to show you something. When I look in the mirror, like right now, I feel like I got a lot of product there. Take your sponge. If you're using our Perfector sponge, it should be slightly damp. Press it and take it off. There you go. Picked it right up. I always have my sponge here. If I don't have my wet Perfector sponge, I use that particular sponge, and it lifts it right off. There, I'm done. All right, so now the next color is going to be contour. Contour is going to add a shadow. I want to try to curve out this little portion of my face, and I think what I'll do is I'm just going to do that with my finger, because I can show you exactly where I want that. It is right there underneath my cheekbone. Right there. I'm going to bring that line back down on my nose, and as I do this, watch how it just draws attention to the center of my face. Isn't that cool? Wish I would have knew this trick like years ago. Now I'm putting a little bit of contour on my forehead. I don't have a terribly long forehead. Some people do. They like to camouflage it. Mine's not terribly, but I do like that little bit of a shadow that it gives me up there. This is the time of the year where you're going to notice that your contour especially, you might have to work a little harder to get it out of there because it's stiff. It's a lot stiffer than your highlights that you put on your face. And by the way, did I talk about the highlights? That's just another term for makeup. That's what we call your foundation. All right, I'm picking up some of the blush right here, Pink Girl. And notice I'm pouncing where I want it and I'm pulling it back. This is called pouncing. This is called stippling. This is the way, when we're using this brush, this is the way we put the product on. We do not do this. If you are seeing this, your artist that is demonstrating that is a lot younger, because this is what happens. This is what happens when I do it. I stipple it, get it where I want it to go, and I'm going to blend in this brightening just a little bit. And look, I'm hardly taking anything underneath my eye, but I put it out here so it gives me an eye lift with my eyeshadow, and I'm done. That was your basic 4. The basic that I get anybody started. It's about $111 by the time you get the palette, your 4 colors, and your brush in Indiana. That's about what the price is. And is it worth it? The tins are going to, if it's your main highlight, if it's the color that you're using all over your face, you're probably going to replace this every 3 to 4 months. If you're replacing it more often than that, you're using too much, which, by the way, is a big thing with people just getting started because they're trying to do what they did before. Your highlights are going to last anywhere from 4 to 6 months because the only place you use it, or excuse me, your brightening highlight, the only place you use it is on the outer part, on the inner part, here, that's it. Your contour, definitely minimum 6 months. And your lip color, it just depends. I have so many lip colors because I like to trade them out. I haven't hit pan on one, even black cherry, and I use black cherry a lot. But your contour, gosh, anywhere from 6 months to a year. Each of these tins costs $16. And then you get credit for every tin that you buy that goes towards your palette. And then the brushes are, I'm trying to remember what the price of the brush is. I want to say $32. And at first I thought that was really expensive because I have some really good brushes. And so I didn't purchase the brushes first off. I kind of thought, again, oh, I can do better with my own. There's something about this brush. It is made to apply cream makeup. It is stiff, it is dense, it is made so that you can put it in there and so that you can blend that product and you get a flawless finish. And so I tried with my other brushes and they just didn't work. I can still use them to apply my powder. I could use them to apply my eyeshadow. But as far as putting the highlights on, and the contour, even the bronzer, I'm going to use Saint brushes all the time. They're double-ended. You kind of get 2 brushes for the price of 1. And if you look at that, that's $32, so $16 a piece. That's not bad. And you have the convenience of having it all in one. I hope that helped you tonight. I want you to see that just because you're mature, and I'm going to be celebrating my 72nd birthday before long. Just because you're what we call mature or senior citizen or whatever, doesn't mean we have to look it. And I'm certainly not trying to turn the clock back. I know I'm never going to look like I did years and years ago, but I want to look the best version of myself. This gives me the self-confidence that I need to be able to go out to know that I didn't scare somebody. And I jokingly say, although it's true, that I'm the person who used to wear makeup to go to the mailbox because I didn't want anybody to see me, because for years I have thought I can't go without makeup. And when you see one of my videos, if you go back and look at my videos and you see me without my eye makeup, and you think, she's right, she should not be without makeup, because it makes a huge, huge difference in my appearance when I don't have makeup on. And it's not unusual for me to wear makeup, but keep in mind, I'm retired, I stay home every day, and I still do this. It takes me 5 minutes, and I look better. And if somebody comes to the door, I'm not like, hi, how are you? Because I don't want them to see me. I hope that helps you tonight. The Fab Four is just that. It is the Fab Four. This is one palette. I've got some new palettes coming hopefully this week. I can hardly wait to show you what those are. We've got some holiday items that are out. But this one just happens to be what I carry right now with my 4 basic colors in them. And we have larger palettes where you can actually put your eyeshadow as well. If you're traveling over the holidays and you want to try to pare down your makeup and you want to have everything in a little tiny makeup case, this is for you. Airlines approve. You don't have to worry about liquids, traveling with liquids, and it looks great. And I've seen so many people put this on in the airplane that is you just kind of look at them like, really? But they're doing it because they can. and they're going to look good with it. If you have any questions, please feel free to drop those down in the comments below. Notice there should be a link that is floating on your screen telling you how to get a color match. I explained at the beginning of the video how to take that photo to get me a color match. Once I get your picture, within 24 hours, I will have my recommendations back to you, and you can then go on the website for Seint and place your order. It's delivered directly to you. It does not go to me. It'll go directly to you, so you can choose what you want. It's a great system. I would love to be your artist. I would love to work with you. I haven't started anyone on this product that hasn't been thrilled with it. And most everybody says, I love the way my skin looks. And that's what I've said for years now, or for months now. I love the way my skin looks. And I can't say that I've said that in the past. And at 70, I think that's kind of a big thing to be able to say. Thanks for joining me this evening. Have a blessed night, and we will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.